FM News Talk 97.1.
On demand audio. You're listening to Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys have to hear this video of this. Well, I posted it on my Facebook page. And the headline on it is, Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be taken to the zoo by a candy-ass dad. That's basically what it says. And I'll explain just a little bit. Jamal is on the line with us. It's interesting, Jamal, I know you were going to chime in on the Post-Dispatch, but, you know, we were just talking about the apparent death of Greg Carter, a St. Louis City alderman who was also a truck driver, driving a UPS truck. And, man, I'll tell you what, you know, listen, it's 12:30 at night. This guy, you know, you guys are out there on the road and you're doing your jobs, and it's always a sad situation like this when a man working for his family dies in that situation. But you guys have a tough job, you truck drivers out there, man.
Yeah, we do a hard job, man. You know, it's just tragic. You have to be careful how we, you know, especially as a driver, we have to be careful, watch the public, and try to be, you know, cautious on what we do, you know, with other truckers around us. You know, these things are not made to stop on the dime and give you 9-cent change. These things, when they're loaded and we're running at a certain speed, man, it takes a length of a football field to stop these things. And it's just, you know, it's just unfortunate that, you know, this that he died that way.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, my heart goes out to all, you know, all those men who, you know, especially this man who is an alderman, representative of St. Louis, and also a UPS driver and a truck driver. And,
yeah, you guys have a lot of force behind you, you know, and people, a lot of car drivers don't realize that. You know, when they try to like sneak in, for instance, in front of a truck. I mean, I see these guys and like, really? I mean, the stories I'm sure the truck drivers can tell about car drivers and what they're doing. Although this wasn't related to this accident, but I'm just saying.
Right. I mean, but I've been this man 16 years riding on the road, and I've been all across the country, and I can tell you many times how fortunate God was fortunate to not let me have major accidents, because I've been in plenty of them where I could have killed somebody or could have killed myself trying to avoid.
Yeah. Well,
cars trying to do things. So
good for you, buddy. But you were calling in about the Post-Dispatch. You do buy the Post-Dispatch, but not so you can read all the articles, huh?
Man, I don't read them articles very often. Every once I buy them, but you know what? I usually get the coupons out of them. That's what I usually buy it for. That's all that paper is good for. Regarding the news and information in there is so biased and crazy that, you know, it's like, come on, man. You know, I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't really want to read this crap. It's good for two things: either toilet paper or wiping your windows with. That's about all it's good for.
and the latest deals at Walgreens. Well, Jamal, thanks for what you do, buddy. Thanks for all your hard work, and appreciate the fact that you listen to the show. And be safe out there, brother. Really appreciate it. All right, so President Obama is campaigning for the re-election of Bill Clinton, apparently, again. Yeah.
My theories have been tested. Last time they were tried was by a guy named Bill Clinton. And we created 23 million new jobs.
Pause that for a second. Who's we? I mean, Obama has some nerve. Apparently he was with the Harvard Law Review at the time and maybe even doing coke at the time, but he certainly wasn't creating jobs at the time.
Deficits to surplus, and we created a lot of millionaires to boot.
Yeah, okay, pause it. God, I'm getting tired of hearing myself explain this. I think all of you really do know this, so I hate to repeat myself, but the surplus was a result of huge numbers of tax receipts thanks to the tech boom and cuts in defense. That's all it was. And that's why we had a budget surplus. And also there wasn't the spending that's going on right now. So Obama is so dishonest and disingenuous in this link to Bill Clinton, and it's totally wrong. And it was a completely different time. It was a completely different era. And Dick Morris says even Bill Clinton doesn't believe it.
I guarantee you, Sean, based on what I've heard from third parties who I've spoken to, that William Jefferson Clinton is going to cast his ballot for Mitt Romney.
Wow. However, yeah, so that's Dick Morris on the Sean Hannity show. Jay Carney, he was at it again, too. misrepresenting the times.
The rules that were in place in the 1990s.
Pause that for a second. We didn't edit out the rules that were in place under blank. Jay Carney was ordered not to say the name Bill Clinton. Because you could tell he was trying to edit himself because there's too much of that going on right now with the commander-in-chief talking about Bill Clinton all the time. They didn't want Jay Carney to do it. Let's play that again from the top, and you can tell how he's like, oop, I better not say Bill Clinton here.
The rules that were in place in the 1990s. The tax rates that were in place in the 1990s. The rules and tax rates that were decried by many Republican leaders at the time had something to do with the greatest economic expansion in peacetime in our history.
That's the biggest lie you can possibly imagine. What was Jay Carney doing at that time? I don't know. Heaven knows what was going up his nose at that time. But the idea that the higher taxes created prosperity in this country at the time is a bunch of crap. It was only by the grace of God that we still prospered. Actually, it was by the grace of the times. Corporations and people were better off back then because the competition wasn't there. The regulations were not there. The food prices weren't as high. The gas prices, on down the line, everybody had more money in their pockets and could absorb higher tax rates. That's always been the case with higher tax rates. You go back to the days of Kennedy when it was higher than hell, and the only reason we survived that is because we didn't have any competition from Asia. We had no competition from the Eastern Bloc. It was a completely different era. We were paying, 15 cents for a gallon of gas. I mean, come on. So these guys are totally wrong. But it does seem like President Obama's campaigning for the reelection of Bill Clinton, and that's interesting. Mitt Romney at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, this solemn event there. It's very solemn. Very solemn.
Governor Romney!
Some of the mishaps on your trip.
Governor Romney, do you have a statement for the Palestinians?
What about your gas? You cannot be serious!
I'm telling you, this is not a Saturday Night Live skit. That actually did happen. Those are actually people talking. What about the gas? We'll have more on that for you straight ahead. Anonymous is back. Don't make T-shirts that say Anonymous on them. I'll tell you why straight ahead.